Hello guys, welcome back to iXoft Original, and this is the next episode for this awesome download manager software we are building in the Visual Studio. If you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do well to subscribe now, which wouldn't take even 5 seconds of your time. Before we get started, let's get going. Okay, so welcome back. On our previous lesson, we learned how to add the URL design, and that was very awesome. That was very fantastic. Now, let's see how best we can call some functions for it to work. Whenever we click on add, or let's say on this particular lesson, we're going to tackle on how we would like to add a download tab anytime we click on download, right? That is what we're going to try and do. So before we get started, make sure that you don't have any errors in your project, or let's say anything like that, right? So as you can see from here, this is my project. When I click on this, you see this guy here, but when I type when I add any download link and then I add a safe path, it's not gonna work, and you can't see anything here. When I click on download, it is not doing anything, right? Good. So let's get started with this. Now, first thing first, let's go right into the code. So from this section, we will just dive right into the codes, right? So let's enter into the code section. Now, before we get started with everything, you need to pay attention very attentively here, because it is very important. First of all, let's import system.net, right? So imports system.net, right? And that is going to allow us to get some information from the web, right? Good. Now let's declare some statements here. Let's declare WC as web client, right? And then also let's declare I as integer, right? And the integer equals to 1. All right, now let's come to the loading screen. After the system is being loaded, we will say that WC equals to new web client. Good. Now let's see the download button, right? Let's see the download button. So go back to the URL, and as you can see, double click on the download button, and we're going to add the codes we need to add, right? So let me set this to 150, and let me clear this. Let me just hide this so that you'll be seeing everything I'm doing. That is awesome. So with this, we're going to declare some statements. We're going to say that dim let's declare subcon as object, right? And then we will say that subcon is equals to sender, right? Good. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use try, right? So we will say that WC dot download file, right? So come to download file async, or anything you call it. That is awesome. And we will say that new URI, right? New URI. Then let's add another inverted commas, and then let's say that our text box 1, which is our reactor text box, right? I think reactor text box 1 dot text. So in front of that, just bring a comma, and then let's say reactor text box 2 dot text, right? And we will say that text plus, we will add the plus sign, and let's add two inverted commas, and let's add this sign, right? So we will add up that one also to our reactor text box 3 dot text, and that is awesome. So with this, I think that is all we need to add for this, and that is very, very awesome, and it is very, very interesting. But before we go, let's add some handler here. So we will say that add handler, which is wc dot download progress changed, right? When our progress is changed, then we will address of pro changed, right? So what we will be doing is we will be creating an event for this pro changed, right? So with no further ado, let's quickly create the pro change. Yeah, let's create the pro change sub, right? So you can even come here, and then I think you can generate a pro change for that, but let's create it here. So we will just say that private sub, then let's say pro changed, right? And let's use sender as object, and we will use e as download progress changed event arg, right? That is it, and that will fix this error for you. Now let's come down from the try, and then let's see the way forward. Now we want to call the function, we want to call the download link anytime we add a new download link. We want it to appear here. So to do that, that is very, very simple, but it is kind of tricky, right? So we will declare some statement here, dim ptab, right, as new process tab, right? So we are going to we are going to declare ptab as our new progress tab. So ptab dot our label 1 dot text should be our reactor text box 3 dot text, right? When I say reactor, our reactor ptab dot label 1, you now see that we have declared ptab as process tab, right? So when we come to our process tab here, you will then see that we have this, which is our label 1. When we go to its properties, you see that that is the label 1. So what we said was the label 1 here, the text should be our reactor text box 3, which is the name we will be giving to this I think is this a text box 3? Yes, this download name. So that is going to be the download name anyway. So after that, we will then say that okay, let's come to let's say form 1, our form 1 dot reactor tab control, right, 1 dot tab pages, which is 1 dot controls dot add, then we will add our p tab, right? Good. Now what this will be doing is what this will be doing is going to add our control to our rector tab control 1 tab pages from our home button, or from our home page, sorry. So we will say that ptab, right, ptab dot top equals to our I we declared multiplied by 10. Then we will say that ptab dot left, right, should be equals to 0. Then we will say that I should be added equals to 7, right? So we will be adding that up by 7 so that it will be in sequential order. After that, we will hide ourselves. That is it for this. So let's go to the paste guy, and then let's see how best the paste works. So with the paste, we will just say that I think that is the paste anyway. So with the paste, we will say that our reactor text box one, because we will be working with the text box one, right? Our reactor text box one dot text equals to my dot computer dot clipboard, right? Clipboard dot get text, right? So it's gonna get the text from our clipboard, and that is awesome. Now let's go back and then let's go into our browse button here. So with this browse button, it's very simple. We're going to declare some statements which is going to help us to get everything done. Now we're going to say that dim fdb as new folder browse dialog, right? So wherever we see fdb, we are talking about folder browse dialog. So we will say that if fdb dot show dialog, right, dot show dialog equals to dialog results dot okay, then our reactor text box 2, which is dot text, should be equals to fdb dot selected path, right? Good. And that is going to do the magic for us anyway. Now let's declare, you see that we added some subcon. So let's declare a subcon as a private sub, right? So let's say private sub subcon, right? And what this is going to do is, if me.text, right, equals to nothing, then t.text, so let's use with t, then we will say that I think okay, so we will declare dim t as new text box, right? Then we will say that with t dots, come on. So let's try to use this measures to do everything. So we will say that dot text should equals to nothing, and we will say that dot width, right, should be equals to 70, and then 70, and then we will say that dot height should be equals to 100, and we will say that dot back color, right, should be equals to color dot red, and we will say that dot fore color, right, should be equals to color dot black. So then we will say that the font, let's try to play along with the font, should be equals to new fonts, which is, let's use this font Arial, and then let's give the font size, which is, I'm going to give it 70 for now. Then we will say that dot controls, so let's use me dot controls dot add our t, so it is going to add that t to our controls, right? So that is it. So these are the codes we have added so far. Let me change the size to 100, and let's see how best this code looks like, and that is very awesome. So don't forget to save your project, and let's click on the start button, and let's see how best that is going to work. So as you can see from here, we have this guy here. So we will just go to the process tab, and we will add a new URL. So I don't know if I have copied something. Okay, I copied something. So let's say test URL, right? So let's select the path, and then I would like to go to this PC, let's go to the desktop. Okay, so I now have the path here. Then I have the download. Let's say this is test download 1, right? Then I click on download. Now you will see that I now have my test download here, and it's been added. Let's try to add another URL and let's see. So this is test download again, the same path, and we're going to say that this is download 2. Let's see if that is going to work. So it's working. Let's add another path. Let's say this is called download 3. So that is working absolutely perfect, and that is awesome. So as you can see from this section, you can add a lot of downloads, and that is going to be working perfectly fine, as you can see from here. So on our next lesson, we're going to see how we can delete this guy. We would like to see whatever we are downloading here with a percentage. That is what we're going to do now. And when we click on this pause button, we want the download system to pause, right? That is what we're going to do, and that is for the process tab. We will go ahead and then see the complete tab. When the process is being completed, it will be added to this complete tab. So we will be working on that. If you have yet to not subscribe to my channel, do well to subscribe for more updates, especially this project, the upcoming version of this project. Don't forget to get this done. My name still remains Ikesoft Original, and this is the masterclass for our internet download manager version 2.0. Subscribe to my channel so that you won't be missing any upcoming episode. Until we meet again on our next lesson, adios amigo.